Ethan Miller had worked in the same gray office for nearly 10 years. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, dressed in a suit that felt heavier with each passing day, and took the same crowded subway to downtown Boston. He was a marketing analyst at a mid-sized firm, a good job on paper, but it never truly felt like his. He was the kind of employee who arrived early and stayed late. His spreadsheets were flawless, his reports punctual. Yet, deep down he felt invisible. Colleagues came and went, and though he smiled politely, he rarely laughed. Every evening when he returned home to his small apartment, he would cook a simple meal, turn on the TV, and stare blankly at the screen, wondering if this was what success was supposed to feel like. Then one Thursday afternoon, his manager called him into a meeting. The HR representative was already there, eyes heavy with rehearsed sympathy. Ethan's heart sank. "I'm afraid we're downsizing," the manager began. "It's nothing personal." The words hit like a thunderclap. After 10 loyal years, a stack of papers replaced his career. He nodded silently, trying to keep his composure. "Thank you for the opportunity," he whispered. Even as his world cracked beneath him, he walked out of the building with a box of his things. A photo of his parents, a coffee mug, and a small plant he'd managed to keep alive. The cold winter wind slapped his face as he stepped onto the sidewalk. The world around him moved as if nothing had happened. That night, he sat on his couch staring at his laptop. His inbox was already filled with "We regret to inform you" responses from the few job applications he had sent earlier in the month. He felt small, disposable, a number in someone else's system. But amid that silence, he noticed something he hadn't seen in years. His old camera, sitting on a dusty shelf. It was a gift from his father back when Ethan was in college, a time when he dreamed of becoming a travel photographer. He picked it up, turned it on, and smiled faintly. The battery was dead, but the memory wasn't. The next morning, instead of updating his resume, he charged the camera and went outside. Ethan wandered through the city with no goal except to capture something beautiful. He snapped photos of steam rising from coffee carts, reflections in puddles, an old man feeding pigeons in the park. For the first time in years he felt awake. Photography had always been his secret love, something he used to do before life told him to be practical. Now, with no job and nothing to lose, he let his instincts lead the way. He began uploading his photos online, simple shots, raw moments. The first few posts barely got attention, but he didn't care. It wasn't about approval anymore. It was about rediscovering himself. One day, while photographing a street musician, the man said, "You've got a good eye, my friend. Ever thought of doing this for real?" Ethan laughed. "I used to dream about it once." "Well," the musician said, strumming his guitar, "maybe it's time to wake up." Those words stuck in his head all night. Within weeks, Ethan started walking different routes every day, capturing corners of Boston that most people ignored. The quiet alleyways, the faces of strangers, the way morning light touched old brick buildings. His photos began telling stories. He joined a local photography group, nervous but curious. The first night he showed a few of his shots. People leaned forward, impressed. A woman named Grace, a professional photographer, said softly, "These feel alive. You see the world differently." That compliment hit deeper than any corporate award he'd ever received. Encouraged, he began posting more frequently. Slowly, his online following grew. People commented, "You capture emotion. Your photos feel real. I wish I saw the world like this." For the first time, Ethan realized that losing his job wasn't the end, it was an opening. He spent his savings buying better lenses and taking short freelance gigs, weddings, portraits, small magazine pieces. He wasn't earning much, but each photo gave him purpose. His former coworkers might have thought he'd fallen behind, but Ethan knew he was finally catching up to himself. Months passed, and Ethan's photography grew more confident. His compositions became sharper, his storytelling richer. He began to notice things that others missed, the way light curved around faces, or how silence filled the space between footsteps. One evening, while shooting near the harbor, he captured a breathtaking image of a fisherman silhouetted against a crimson sunset. The photo was so striking that Grace encouraged him to submit it to the Boston Lens, a local photography competition. Ethan hesitated but eventually sent it in. He didn't expect much, maybe a polite rejection or no reply at all. 2 weeks later, he received an email that made his hands shake. Congratulations! Your photo Harbor Man has been selected as a finalist. He stared at the screen in disbelief. Out of thousands of entries, his work was chosen. At the award event, surrounded by seasoned photographers, Ethan felt out of place in his simple shirt and worn camera strap. But when his photo appeared on the big screen, a murmur spread through the audience, admiration, respect. When the judges announced the winner, it wasn't him. But he didn't care. The applause, the recognition, and the realization that he belonged, that was enough. Afterward, a magazine editor approached him. Your work tells real stories, she said. Would you be interested in contributing to our travel section? Ethan could barely speak. He nodded, trying to hide the emotion swelling in his chest. That night, as he walked home, the city lights shimmered differently, brighter, warmer, alive. The following year transformed Ethan's life completely. His photography began appearing in travel blogs, magazines, and art exhibitions. His Instagram page grew rapidly, connecting him with creatives worldwide. He started traveling, not for business meetings or deadlines, but for discovery. From New York to Lisbon to small coastal villages, he captured the essence of people and places. Each click of his camera was a reminder of how far he had come, from a lifeless cubicle to a world full of color. When an interviewer once asked, "Do you ever regret losing your job?" Ethan smiled. "Losing that job was the best thing that ever happened to me," he said, "because it forced me to find what I truly love." Now in his mid-30s, Ethan teaches photography workshops, helping others reconnect with creativity they thought they'd lost. He tells them, sometimes life takes away what you think you need so you can finally see what you're meant to do. On the anniversary of the day he was fired, Ethan returned to that same office building. He stood outside, camera in hand, and took a single photograph of the doors that once closed behind him. The caption he posted later read, "The day I lost my job was the day I found myself." And for the first time, he didn't feel like he was chasing success. He was living it.